Welcome everybody, it is time for Nima Storytime. So I'm going to take you guys back to when I was in college. Yes, my freshman year of college, I discovered a franchise, and in fact a console itself, that made a lasting imprint with me, and how I played a game that I've been looking for a long time, or at least a successor to it. And somehow I missed a game that came out relatively recently, and somehow I missed it. You would think that I, with my ear to the ground when it comes to video games, would be onto it, and especially since it's a type of game that, like I said, I've wanted to find ever since college, and I just haven't been able to scratch that itch with any other game or any other series. But before we get into this, please hit that like and subscribe button. Help my numbers grow, it helps me out, makes me feel better, and one step further from the ledge. Anyway, the series I'm talking about is actually a series called Road Rash. And if you're not familiar with it, it's like the adult version of Mario Kart. Essentially, it's about some biker gangs racing, and you're able to take out your enemies in all violent means, whether it be blades or pipes or whatever you have on you. And my experience with the game was also amplified by music. The soundtrack to this game was awesome. I remember hearing Soundgarden for the first time on this game. It was a song called Rusty Cage. I still remember it because of the intro of this game. So how did I come to find Road Rash? How did that become something that was in my zeitgeist, if you will? Well, anyway, I was, like I said, a college kid, a poor college kid, who did have a 360. I mean, I had to have a 360 or I wouldn't have had friends in high school. Like, that's, for my generation, that is how all the guys hung out, was playing Call of Duty. So it did have a 360, but the problem is the games were incredibly expensive. By the way, I would like to go back to younger me and be like, yeah, $70 is what we pay now. What do you think about those $40, $50 games? But anyway, the games were expensive and we just couldn't afford new games. But what we did know is there was an awesome pawn shop nearby we would go to for all sorts of stuff. One of the big things that we went there for is like guitar strings. I don't know why, but this pawn shop sold really cheap guitar strings. They were brand new. They weren't like taking them off other guitars. But one day while we were there, the idea came about like, hey, let's buy like a retro console. Nothing too old, so it's still cool, but something that like we can actually afford some of the games with. And mind you, this is before collecting got huge. This is a time when the internet also wasn't really, I don't want to say accessible to everyone, it was, but a lot of people didn't know how to use it. So you could still go to a pawn shop or a garage sale and have $20 and come out with a gigantic box full of awesome stuff. And that's essentially what happened. So we were at this pawn shop and I saw a Sega CD with like a collection of games. Also, a Sega Master System was also in this box. And this box was just towards the back of the store, kind of neglected. Nobody gave a crap about it. And it seems insane now because like I know we had a Sonic game for that and a bunch of other games. Like we literally had like 10 or 12 games that came with this whole system. We offered the guy $40 and he was more than happy to give it to us for that price. Again, it's insane, but back then people didn't collect and no one looked these things up. They just thought like, hey, once it's old, no one wants it, we're just gonna throw it away. So we walked out with this box, and again, it was our perspective as well. It was like, this is kind of old, but we'll see if it's cool. We didn't know what we were buying, by the way. Like, we didn't know that, oh, hey, this is going to be a really valuable system and really valuable games. No, it was looked at kind of a reject console that didn't do very well, and yet we just kind of figured, why not? We're bored. We only have like 2 games on the 360, and so purchasing this, at least if like maybe just 2 or 3 games are good, well, it's better than what we had, and also included the Sega Master System, which also had games in it as well, and, you know, we thought we could definitely entertain ourselves with it for a while. Well, this is where Road Rash took over our house. We had a house right next to campus, so there was always people coming by, but we would have tournaments all the time with Road Rash. And Road Rash is one of those games that I remember myself playing like almost non-stop. It was just so addictive and fun. It was one of those things you didn't have to jump into, get like heady into a story or anything like that. It was just beat a dude up with a pipe and ride a motorcycle. Like, how can you suggest that wouldn't be fun? And on the juxtapose of it though, we were busy playing Call of Duty a lot online, which is incredibly stressful, honestly. And so having this as something to play opposite that, it was great, and it really became a game that we played more than anything. Anyway, years went by, and I've been looking for a Road Rash style game for quite a while, and every time I would find one, kind of sucked. It didn't really live up to it, and I thought maybe this was just a time in my life where this was a perfect fit, and maybe this is not for me anymore. Well, that is until I started playing Road Redemption. Road Redemption was on sale about a week ago, and I went ahead and picked it up because it looked interesting, and I heard some rumors about it being a spiritual successor to Road Rash. And my god, this game is it. It's silly, it's funny, it's over the top, it's violent, it's all those things that you loved wrapped up in a roguelike style game. Which, if I'm honest, I wasn't really sure about the whole roguelike thing. I just thought like maybe that would ruin it because it's such a trendy style of game anymore, but no, in fact it really makes a lot of sense, because Road Rash in general was a really hard game, and you almost never made it to the end or anywhere near the end. So this game, though, has basically the same thing. You have 3 giant levels with multiple stages per level, and while you're running a stage, or once you're done with the stage, you collect a certain amount of money. That money can be spent in stage or in level, if you will. Then when you actually die, then you actually can use your XP to give yourself permanent upgrades or permanent modifications, and those you can carry with you onto your next game. And those permanent modifications can range from anything from like more health to higher attack damage to things that I really focused on early on, which is like extra XP, extra money, things like that I felt would do a lot more to benefit me early on. You can also get to a point where you can actually just unlock places that you'll start. Like first off, you start off at level 1, but once you get far enough and you upgrade enough, you can actually upgrade to where you will start at like level 3 or level 5, so you don't have to run that whole thing back again. Which does make it easier, especially towards the late game. I haven't played that much of the late game because I suck, but I'm still having fun with it, and we're getting there, you know? I'll also say this, the game is kept fresh by all the unlockables, and not just the bikes and the characters, which the characters and bikes all have their benefits and debuffs as well. Some of the characters might be really strong, but aren't as healthy? No, I meant like they don't have as much health. Yeah, the other thing, oh yeah, you can be this really strong dude, but he's got jaundice. Their health bar just isn't as much. Or you can have a guy who is really good with critical hits, but regular hits kind of suck, that kind of thing. As well as the bikes, of course, they're going to have ones that are stronger, faster, whatever. But also in-game, you can find a lot of unlockable weapons that you don't start off with, obviously. You only start off with like 1 to 2, again, depending on what character you choose. But while you're out there, you can find anything like assault rifles, to hockey sticks, to, again, gigantic axes, whatever you can find, and there's plenty to find. I've just been having a blast with it. By the way, the controls are really good. I got it for the Nintendo Switch, and I haven't had any performance issues with it either. And typically this game is like $29.99, but it does go on sale, it seems, often. Or at least, I'll put it this way, the last time I heard about it was like a few months ago, and I heard about it because it was on sale. And it was just on sale last week. So going by that, it seems to go on sale quite a bit. But if you like that kind of game, then it's perfect. I think that they did a great job as a love letter to Road Rash, taking that series, touching upon it a little bit, and then bringing it into the modern era. It's, like I said, just a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Check it out if you guys get a chance, if that's your bag. If not, it's cool too. Let me know what games you guys are playing. Let me know what your thoughts are on Road Rash or anything retro or anything at all, really. I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care, everyone. Love y'all. Bye-bye.